Hey, what's going on, peeps? My name is MrRhexx and we're back with some more World of Warcraft. On the last episode, we pretty much finished Durotar for the most part. We have completely done almost everything. I think I finished up all of Razor Hill, actually, because now we're pretty much just entering Orgrimmar. We're gonna do some quests on the side. The planning here is to get to at least level 11, which shouldn't be too hard considering the fact that we're about to get there. But I want to be at least level 11 before I actually get to the Barrens. Now, I also, and I think this is going to be a substantial chunk of this episode, I want to talk a little bit about Orgrimmar. Orgrimmar is probably my favorite city in the game. It's a massive stronghold. In fact, it's considered by many to be an impenetrable fortress. If anything, it needed, because the fortress has been sieged before, and it has been sacked once, and that was in the end of Pandaria when the Siege of Orgrimmar happened, when we took down Garrosh. But the only reason that we managed to do that was because, I mean, you have to consider the fact that it was the entire Alliance force combined with Vol'jin's Darkspears and the Torrents and the Blood Elves and everyone else except the Orcs. So for the most part, it literally needed the entire force of the world to be accessed, which is incredible. The constructor of it, which is Gasload, even has said himself that, look, this fortress is made to be impenetrable. And it kind of makes sense when you consider the fact that half of it is literally mountains. Like, it's pretty much blocked off as high as you can see. So, like, just look at how big the walls are. That's pretty much it surrounds the entire city. If there are no mountains, there are walls that big, and that's the beauty of the city. The city is supposed to contain about 16,000 inhabitants. About 11,000 of those are orcs. About 1,500 of those are torrents, and about another 1,500 of those are trolls. The rest are the remaining 3,000 are probably a combination of Forsaken and you know, Pandaren and Blood Elves and the like, and you know, extra stuff like elementals or whatever else that make a living in this place. This is the new Warchief that we have now for Warlords of Draenor, which is Vol'jin. I made a lore video of Vol'jin that you guys should definitely see if you haven't, because it is kind of important. We talk a lot about Shadow Hunters and we talk about Loas, which is something that I'm gonna get to in just a bit. The official religion of Orgrimmar is Shamanism. Now, Shamanism is, and it's very interesting because I want to specifically say that it is Shamanism because different races have different religions, and they are different depending on even on the Horde. Like, the way trolls venerate their ancestors is different than the way orcs do, and it's very different than the way Taurens do. So the way orcs do it is, I think, is what you would find as Shamanism, because what you think Shamanism is the way orcs do it, and Taurens are completely different. So Shamanism as a religion has three different tenets. One of them is animism. Animism is the concept that everything in this world has a soul. The earth has a soul. Living creatures like muddy crawfishes have souls. Foxes, bunnies, anything has a soul, even including plants. Like, that's very important. Plants and all animals and even inanimate objects like earth has souls. The second tenet is ancestral worship, which means that you have to, as part of the religion, as part of shamanism, you're obligated to honor your ancestors. So, like, your parents, your parents' parents, anyone that came before you in your lineage needs to be honored, and that can be done in multiple ways. I'm just honestly just going around the town just showing you guys, but there's a lot I want to talk about. But yeah, it's really, there are multiple ways to honor them. It could be just by doing awesome things for them, or just going to their graves and paying respects, or, you know, if your ancestor was a warrior, then you, by just being a warrior, you honor them. Like, that's just how it works. Usually you pick one of your ancestors that you really like, that you identify with, and you venerate him. So if one of your ancestors was a pedophile, you can honor him by being a pedophile. I mean, as far as shamanism goes, like, that's how it works. You pick one that you identify with, and then you honor him in whatever way the ancestor would feel honored. Because you have to, again, with animism, like, everything has a soul, and soul doesn't quite leave the world as soon as it dies. It stays in the realm, so you can talk to it and you can honor it, right? Now the third tenet is where things get a little more active, which is Oh my god, what's the third one? The third one is called Spirit Guidance, and this is where it gets a little bit more active, because Spirit Guidance entails that you are supposed to ask them for help. It's pretty much the the go to church part of being a shaman. So it's not just about praying, but you actually have to talk to them, ask them for help, use them to fuel yourself, you know, with power or otherwise, and that's the last part of shamanism. The way that it differs between, say, Druidism, which is almost the same thing, it's very close to being the same thing because they all believe in the same concept, the same three tenets, is that Druidism focuses a lot more on nature, right? On earth, on living beings, bunnies and frogs. And instead of honoring their ancestors, as in honoring your parents, they honor their ancestors by honoring the land. You know, I guess to the Night Elves, for example, and the Taurens, well, mostly the Night Elves, the concept of honoring the ancestors for the Night Elves is pretty much comes down to honoring the land. Because, you know, they're more closer to the land, they consider the land like as their family, because they literally have living trees, I would assume. So to them it is a little bit more different, which is very interesting. But that's the main difference, whereas druids focuses on the land, shamans focus on their actual literal parents and ancestors and elementals. Orcs more so than others focuses more on elementals, because like when they were consumed by the demons in Draenor, their connection to the elements was completely severed, so they're trying to kind of like get that back, you know. So they're specifically that's Thrall's kind of point of view. He wants to get back to the core values of venerating the elementals, and that's why they focus a little more. They do that more often than say Taurens do, because Taurens they focus more on parents. In fact, they say that Taurens, since they're calves, they can name at least like 20 or so of their ancestors, which I think is kind of cute. So from the get-go, since they're babies, not babies, but you know, since they're like teenagers, they're made to pick 2 or 3 out of their 20 ancestors that they remember, and then they pick, you know, whoever they want to identify themselves with, and then they honor they literally live their entire lives just honoring those 2 or 3 ancestors, and that's just how they roll. But yeah, just wanted to take a little stroll around Orgrimmar, explain just a little bit of how the society works here. As I said, the official religion of Orgrimmar is Shamanism, and 16,000 inhabitants, which is pretty sweet. That's a lot of people. If you want to compare it to, see, I don't know the exact numbers of the other capital cities, but I can tell you that, for example, Ratchet, I think, has 7,000 inhabitants. Crossroads has 6,000 inhabitants. So, you know, to give you guys a perspective, it's very odd, because obviously Orgrimmar is like at least 20 times bigger than Ratchet is, but Ratchet has like at least a third of the inhabitants of Orgrimmar. So it's a little skewed in that sense. I mean, you have to consider the fact that these numbers are coming from the WoW RPG, which is like the pamphlet of, you know, what you need to know about the lore of Warcraft, not necessarily about the games as much as it is about the worlds and the books, right? Because the games do take some liberties that, you know, just for gameplay purposes, they cannot make Ratchet be like almost as big as Orgrimmar, because I would consider that would take way too many resources for them to do, so they don't do that. But for the most part, you have to consider Ratchet and Crossroads being like at least a third the size of Orgrimmar. So that would take forever for them to make, and too many resources for them to be able to make that happen. But that's it. That's Orgrimmar. Just wanted to take a little tour. We'll come back to this place later. If you guys have anything you want to particularly, you know, want me to talk about the religion, maybe something very specific, just, you know, make sure to tell me. Also make sure to watch the Vol'jin lore video, because he's a very interesting character, and it talks a lot about him as a leader and as a person, and how honorful and pacifist he is, and I love it. It's pretty interesting. But anyways, stuck to Gore the Enforcer.
Blood and thunder.
You're the one who handled the burning blade to the south. I've got ears in all kinds of places, boy, and word travels fast. The flood to the southwest wiped out one of the few burning blade camps that still pockmarked Durotar. This one was led by a goblin named Vissel Darklaw, and believe me, we're better off without him. Darklaw, however, did possess an orb that the Horde is interested in procuring. Who knows why? I leave that to the warlogs. All I know is that I need that orb.
Strength.
Our army needs water, and luckily the elements gave us plenty of that when the cataclysm hit. The water that filled up the canyon to the southwest should do the trick. Unfortunately, the corpses of thunder lizards still sit at the bottom of the canyon, and their electrical discharges are a bit too dangerous. I've got grunts that can lift them out of the water, but we need someone agile enough to attach the other end of the rope. Are you my man, Rexar? I am your man. He's so big, though. I love how all the unique characters just tend to be naturally bigger. Makes me feel kind of inadequate, I feel like. My associate here has some plans for you that I don't agree with. His actions are hasty, uncontrolled, and irresponsible, and you may end up paying for them with your life. Before you work with Gore, first listen to the tale that I have to tell. It's a moralistic story, a fable, but I believe it's a lesson that should still prove valuable. Speak to me when you're ready. Oh boy, here we go. Can you tell me your fable, Shin?
For the Horde!
One day, the wolf was very hungry, so he ran east to look for some food. Okay, let's do that. I don't think I've done this before, I don't remember. He scoured the sands of Durotar, hunting for its prey. Okay, is that a prey? I see a wild, mature swine. Looks very delicious. So I'm definitely a spectral wolf, though. I don't see my prey yet. I think I'm looking for a bunny or a rabbit or something delicious. The wolf found scorpion meat to be too bitter. Okay. Well, can I be the judge of that? I would actually honestly like to try scorpion. If that existed, if there was a scorpion that was like 3 feet tall, I would love to try it out. I would have someone else kill it, but I would definitely enjoy it. He happened upon a pair of battling Kodos. Clever as he was, the wolf decided to wait until one of them defeats the other. When the weaker Kodo died, the wolf approached and tried to eat it. Oh no! The remaining Kodo, angry at the wolf's impetuousness, swiftly killed the wolf before he had a chance to eat. Well, that was a lame-ass fable. That with me dying. The moral of the story, hasty, lazy actions have ruinous results. We mustn't take shortcuts, we must work for our rewards. I've been trying to tell this story to the Enforcer, but I fear his Hellscream worshipping skull is a little bit too thick. But that's what you should do, right? You see, the dumb thing would be to fight a fucking Kodo because they're like 3 times your size. Just wait until someone else kills it, and then eat it. Like, what kind of moral are you trying to teach me? That I should fight things that are 4 times bigger than me? Oh, sir.
What do you need?
Ignore the shaman, soldier. Certain powers that be within the Horde demand that I keep him with me. But I assure you that thrall-loving Farseer truly sees no farther than the borders of this hut. The elementals war against one another to the west of here. I normally wouldn't mind, but I need that land cleared to secure a broader shipping route to and from the Barrens. The elementals are normally quite strong, but they are weakened by their attacks against one another. Use this knowledge to destroy them.
Go forth to
Alright, we'll do that, but first we have to get this orb from the goblin that lies to the west of this area. Now, this is one of the sections of the map that used to be different before the Cataclysm. Before the Cataclysm happened, because he mentioned that we now have water thanks to the Cataclysm. What happened, this entire section was arid, was just pretty much a wasteland. It was like a Grand Canyon, a literal Grand Canyon. The mountains used to be very tall, and you could like go down into the mountains and just walk below them. And now they're all filled with water. So, whereas before we would have to fight some thunder lizards, now we're supposed to, I think, unhook them or something, because they're going to be drowned now, full of water. You guys are going to see exactly what I mean. Also, somebody suggested that I should catch a raptor and name it MrRhexx, which I think would be hilarious. And I could actually do that. Do I have... I have tamed beasts. You must dismiss your current pet before you can tame another one. We can try that. So let's do dismiss pet. Alright, sorry Hover. See you next time. Goodbye. We'll try taming this guy. Now, if we find the rare raptor that we fought on the last episode, I'll see about taming him instead. If I remember he was blue, which would be even cooler. There we go. Rename MrRhexx. Oh yeah. That name is reserved. What? Oh, is it because it's MrRhexx? Wait, why is it reserved? That's weird. I don't understand. Aw. That's odd. Well, I mean, Rex is going to be what that's, I guess, fine. Rex are on Rex. It's kind of cheesy if you ask me, but I guess it works. Alright, well, let's kill this Scorpion real quick. There we go, fantastic level 11. That didn't take too long at all. We get Feed Pet, so feed your pet the selected item, instantly restoring 50% of its total health, cannot be used while in combat. Before, I don't remember exactly what expansion was that removed this from the game, but before, hunter pets used to have something called happiness. And if you kept your happiness really low, there was a chance that your pet would straight up leave you and would never come back. And I think he could even just turn aggressive towards you. You needed to keep him healthy in order for obviously him to be in optimal fighting conditions, because I'm almost positive that his damage also kind of was affected by how happy he was. I might be wrong on that, you guys will tell me if I am, but happiness was kind of an important thing for your pet. Now they removed it, it's no longer a thing. You tame a pet and that pet stays with you forever, regardless of whether you give him food or not, which is kind of interesting, but that's the case. But yeah, it was interesting before because every pet has its own diet. So like, say you wouldn't necessarily feed plants or like fruits to a raptor, but you would to, say, a boar, right? Or you would have to like literally feed like maybe meat to your raptor, you have to feed fish to I don't know, I guess whatever other pet you were using. I don't know, let's see, like a I'm trying to think of something cool, like a bear. You could feed fish to a bear. So every pet had his own diet, and they would only take that which they ate. I don't know, it was a system, it was interesting. I used to like the hunters a lot because of that, because they had this entire minigame on the side that you had to deal with. And a lot of people, the reason it was removed was because a lot of people just consider it kind of a nuance, something just annoyance, something annoying. But I don't know, to me it was always one of those things, like if you don't want to deal with having a pet, then don't have a pet, don't be a hunter. Like, it's one of those things, I don't know. It's like, why choose a mage if you don't like magic, right? It's like, dude, you're going to use a pet, and you're going to have to manage your pet. So if you don't want to manage your pet, then don't be a pet hunter. It seems fairly easy to me, but a lot of people complained, and it was removed. It's one of those efforts to make WoW a little bit more, you know, casual friendly maybe, or just less troublesome, which I guess is okay to an extent. I was just a little disappointed. I kind of enjoyed it. But it's not there anymore. You can still feed your pet though, and I believe it's just to heal it. Cannot be used while in combat, so it's an off-combat thing. Eventually, for now, it's not going to be a problem because our regeneration is extremely powerful. But as soon as we reach level 15, actually healing ourselves is going to turn into an actual thing that we're going to have to do. But until then, we don't have to worry too much about it. We also have our Ment Pet, which is, I mean, it's literally costs no mana, so there's no reason for us to ever feed our pet. I don't really see the point of that. Anyways, we're gonna kill these guys real quick. Collect the orb. Attempt to remove the orb. You grab the orb, but Fizzle's hand clutches around it even tighter. The orb grows slightly. I tend to remove Fizzle's hand then. Give up. This is too scary. And that's the end of our adventure, guys. We just didn't dare do anything. Well, there you go. Back in the day, as I said, like, this water wasn't here, so you actually had to walk this entire section, kill all those thunder lizards that are now drowned, and eventually you had to actually fight Fizzle. He was kind of a hard character. Back in the day, when the game wasn't that easy anymore, it was a problem because all of those demons and void walkers that are floating around the water, they used to pool whenever you would fight them. So you usually had to fight like 2 or 3 or 4 guys at the same time. He was probably the first character that had a solid chance of actually killing you in the game if you played as an orc or a troll. So I have good memories of him. Good memories of me dying in that battle. We had water breathing. Didn't even notice. I wasn't even paying attention to that. But anyways, we're gonna be killing some elementals, warring elemental slain. Elementals are always in a state of war between each other. You can see the water elemental fighting the earth elemental. This is not just something that happens in here. It's something that they actually struggle with their entire existence. If you guys remember, the Titans banished the elemental lords to the elemental plane, and it's not just like, oh, you're not allowed on Azeroth, you're gonna go to this other section. No, like, it's actually a plane of existence that it's like a constant state of struggle. Elementals fight each other every day, 24/7, non-stop for area, just you know, to improve their perimeters. It's something that they do literally all the time. So it's the only thing they know. Most elementals, a lot of elementals actually manage to somehow escape and come into this realm to find peace. And it's kind of sad because, like, we players and a lot of characters here in this game don't quite recognize that the elementals, like, they escape their plane because they want peace. They don't want to fight anymore. They're tired of this constant kind of struggle that they have to endure in the other plane. They'll fight us always because that's the only thing they know. They want peace, but when someone gets into their face, the only thing they know is to fight, so they will always fight us back. But in reality, all they want is peace, which is kind of sad. I don't recall exactly how it is that they escape into this plane. All I know is that it has something to do with the bracers that you see. You see every elemental in this game has those funky looking bracers on their hands. That's the artifact that kind of allows them to move from the elemental realm to this realm. And that's why when you kill them, they drop that, and that's all that they drop. When you actually kill them here, they return to their plane. It's almost like Daedras in Skyrim, I guess. You know, if you kill a Daedra, they drop their weapons and stuff, but their armor never drops, their body essence never drops, because they return to Aetherius. Well, not to Aetherius, but to the Oblivion realms. But they don't actually ever die, really. It's kind of an interesting, I guess, comparison. There's a lot of the same, I suppose. But that's it. We finish up the 3 quests. We have the orb. We hooked all of the thunder lizards, and we killed the elemental. So let's go ahead and return this. All right, our quest here is done, Gore the Enforcer.
Strength and honor.
Run into any trouble on the way? I ask for an orb, and you bring half of the goblin's arm with you. I like the way you work. Tell you what, you've already given me a hand. Allow me to return the favor. Cool. We're gonna get some leather. It's 1 intellect. It's not necessarily gonna improve our damage, but I mean, it's 1 more armor, so what the hell? I literally have no space. Oh my god. Should have sold things while I was in Orgrimmar. I totally forgot. It's too busy telling you guys the story of the game to focus on this. Here we go. Fantastic. Oh, thanks. It's even clapping. One of our more useful shamans, Margos, knows more of the Burning Blade's corruption. He speaks of a cave called Skull Rock in the mountains just outside Orgrimmar that shelters a large band of Burning Blade cultists. Before you go to Skull Rock, speak with Margos. He's wise and his counsel is valued. He's camped to the southeast between the coast and Dry Gulch ravine. Follow his advice. Okay, we'll do that.
Dabu.
The electricity was only one of the dangers. If those carcasses rot for too long under the water, the entire source becomes undrinkable. Well done, Hunter. Yeah. See, the shaman's tales are nothing but that, a youngling's bedtime stories. The new horde takes what it wants, and doesn't waste time with such frivolity. If you get a chance, I recommend you tell Shin, and those like him, not to waste any more of your time. I guess I'll do that, and gives us agility, which is actually the stat that we will use from now on as a hunter. It's what actually increases our attack damage, which is fantastic. Huh. Looks like your services are being requested elsewhere. Actor Bloodfest is looking for recruits to assist the Horde's ventures in Ashara, north of Orgrimmar. I'm sure you still have work to do here in Durotar, and I understand that they'll surely be asking for your help in the Barrens. I wouldn't be going anywhere yet if I were you, but if you're itching for some manifest destiny, Ashara awaits. So he's telling us that we can actually go to Ashara. Ashara is from level 10 to 20, so that's a possibility we can do that. I usually do Barrens, and I think Barrens is a little bit more interesting in terms of lore and story and feel. Ashara used to be, I don't know, Ashara used to be like, what, 45 to 50? Before Cataclysm. It used to be very high level up, but since we got the goblins, and now the goblins kind of reside here, they made it more of an introductory section, which is fine. It's okay. I'm gonna go Barrens instead, though. I won't be able to go there at some point. If you guys really like this series, this lore kind of Let's Play series, then I will probably I'll probably make it so that, you know, we'll get a new character, and then we'll do these zones that we didn't do with this character, and that way it'll allow me to kind of touch on every zone, explain every single character, area, race, and everything that I can, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, I want to be able to cover everything in the end, so if we have to create a new character just to get to those other zones, then I guess I'm gonna do that. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to get to 11. We're already 11 and a half, so we're gonna be heading to Barrens, so I'll see you guys when I get a little closer. And here we are at the edge of what Durotar is and connects to the Barrens. We're gonna leave the episode over here because I want to start the new episode with Barrens. I think it's gonna be a little bit better. Helps me, you know, figure things out and classify things a little bit easier, so I don't have to be giving you guys some lore on Barrens and then having to stop midway or even at the very start because we're already at the 25-minute mark. So we're gonna leave it here, but just to give you guys a little glimpse of what Barren has to offer, it's pretty much what Durotar is, except just a little less red and maybe a little bit more barren. It is what it is. It's considered the biggest area in the game, actually, consisting of the most levels. You can see that it's 10 levels for Northern Barrens and 5 levels for the Southern Barrens, so that amounts for 15 levels that we will get just in the Barrens, which is, I think it's more than you can get really anywhere else. The other closest one is probably Strangle Thornbell, but that's only 10 levels. And I mean every other secondary starting area, but those, yeah, they usually tend to be 10 levels. And Barrens has an extra 5. There was so much they had to like split it into, and there is a lore reason for that. We'll get to that on the next episode. Anyways, guys, hope you all enjoyed it. Tune in tomorrow for the next episode of Leveling Weekends. We will destroy this place. See you guys next time.